Yeah, good relationships with guards and prisoners. Listen, I was respectful to everybody. He's a guard, it's a job. There was a lot of good guards, there was a lot of guys who were jerk-offs. But there was good guys who really didn't want to fuck with you. It was their job to come in, lock you in. A lot of times they did you a favor. They were good guys. And I had a good relationship with a lot of guards. They had a lot of respect for me. I showed respect for people. If they were respectful and they were decent to people, I always showed them respect. I didn't hate them because they were a guard or anything like that. You know, I always gave them courtesy. So I had a lot of people who were not friends that I hung out with them or anything like that, but I respected their position, they respected me, and I got along with a lot of them. Would come in, you know, they would do a little favor here or a little favor there. A couple of guys who were in more authority than a guard, the warden, I was friendly with one or two wardens, would come over. I guess my background, my history, my name, so they came over talking to me and asking me. Some guys actually even asked me for an autograph, believe it or not. They gave me something, would you sign this for me? And I would say, yeah. I didn't think it was a big deal, so I would sign my name on it. It was a newspaper article maybe that came out. I would sign my name on it, and he would take it home with him. So I had good relationships in jail, and I dealt even in prison. I got along with everybody. I wasn't racist. I didn't have, you know, attitude towards people, so I got along with the blacks very well, with the Hispanic, Mexicans and people like that, whites, Asian. There wasn't very many Asian people in prison, but the few, you know, I got along with just about everybody. I think everybody knew that I didn't try to bully anybody. I didn't try to use my name or reputation or something like that. You know, all my shit don't stink and you're nobody. I never conducted myself like that, so I never had real problems. But they also knew that if I was going to have a problem, I'm a small guy, I would fight like a bastard. I don't care about winning or losing. I want the guy to remember that he had a fight with me. So I'm going to fight as hard as I can, and I don't go down easy. Maybe now, but not then. And they all knew if you had a fight with me and you overdid it, like if you won the fight and you're stomping me and I'm going to kill you. I'll get a shank and I'll stick it in your fucking throat, or I'll do something. And they knew that. So I really didn't have that many problems in prison. I got along with everybody for some reason. I stayed out of the things that cause trouble. Drugs, money, gay stuff, all stuff like that. Watching TV for the sports because people argue what game they want to watch. I stayed away from it. I stopped watching sports. So I played cards, I played chess, I played handball. I was on a team when we played different things, sports. I did artwork with a group of guys, and it was pretty, you know, it wasn't like white guys, it was white, it was black, it was Hispanic. Hispanic guys, a lot of them were real good at art. I got mostly all my tattoos in prison from guys. They didn't even charge me. So, you know, I would buy them things sometimes, but I got a ton of tattoos from them. And they were very good and helpful with me, and I just got along. Just like it's out in the street now, I came out. I get along with most people. You know, not everybody, nobody does. But in prison, I really had not very many beefs or arguments or stuff like that. I had a unit manager who used to break my balls all the time, an Italian guy, when I was in Pennsylvania. And he would call me and break my balls all the time because I would take pills, so I forget. So I would put the pills out on the table. So every time I walk back into my cell, I see them and I take them. If they're in the jar, a lot of times I'll forget. And he didn't like the idea I put the pills out. And he told me to put them back in the bottles. I told him I'm not going to do that. Oh, you're telling me what you're going to do? I'm telling you I'm not going to do it. Go to fucking medical, tell them to tell me. I'm not doing it. I'll forget. And I got to take these pills every day. So I lined them up. What's the difference? It's sitting in the cell on my desk. And so this is a guy, it was little problems like that with him all the time because I would answer him back. He didn't like it. He was the boss. He was the unit manager. He was the boss. He thought his shit don't stink. When I first got in there, he said, he was Italian. He said, you're not going to get no favors because you're Italian. Matter of fact, I'm going to make it a lot rougher on you. And that first day, I don't remember exactly. I think I told him to go fuck himself. He could do whatever the fuck he wants to do. And we kind of mounted off to each other, so I never got along with him. You know, so it's that way. If you fuck with me, I'm, you know, for no reason, or you want to play with me for stupid shit where my pills are, I'm not going to get along with you, and I'm going to answer. You know, I'm quick to answer. I got a temper, and I'm not afraid to fight, and I'm not afraid to go in a hole. So I didn't give a shit. If you were a jerk off, I would treat you like a jerk off. But everybody else, mostly all people, whether medical people and everybody, I got along real good. I was very respectful towards people. I don't go out looking for trouble or thinking I'm better than anybody. So I didn't have many problems. Like I said, I wasn't racist. You know, my granddaughter is biracial. There was a couple of fights I had in prison because of that. They would say something to me and about it, or say something when I was one guy I was in a cell with, and I told him, listen, I don't want to hear that shit. After the third day in the cell, me and him, after lockdown, we fought all night long, battled. I mean, both of us, and fucking blood is all over the place. And the unit manager there was a black woman. And the next day he went and told that we fought. So she called me in. And she said, I know this guy's a piece of shit. What did you fight about? I said, he just says things I don't like. She knew that my granddaughter was biracial. She said, was it about race? Yeah, I don't like things he says. And I checked him and I told him, like, my granddaughter's biracial. I don't want to hear shit like that. And he just continued, and we had a fight. We fought. She says, okay, there's not going to be any charges against you. Go back in the cell tonight and break his fucking ass. I said, she was a black woman. She understood, I guess. So I said, all right. You know, I didn't do it. She told me to do it, but she didn't care. She understood what it was because he probably had a reputation of being, you know, saying things and being that way. So, you know, that was a funny thing, and it was crazy. Somebody who gave me the creeps in the Mafia was Roy DeMeo. I met with him a bunch of times, and this guy, that's all he had on his mind is killing people and doing things and talking about it. And he was a creepy guy. I knew him for a long time, and we were friends, but he gave me a lot of creepy times. When I went to meet him, he would talk about all kinds of weird shit, and he just creeped me out a little bit. I went to a meeting. There were shipping cars overseas to Kuwait, and Nino Gaggi was Roy DeMeo's captain. He was there. I was there with Louis Melito. We were trying to get into that little bit of a scam. And we were sitting in a diner. There was a bunch of old people in a room. They gave me that table because we know there wasn't agents or people around us. And he was paying attention in a different direction. So I said, Roy, the conversation is starting to bore you? No, why? I says, you're looking away. It doesn't seem like you have an interest in what we're talking about. He said, no, you see all these old people? I said, yeah. He said, if I had 2 9mm, I could take them all out in a matter of minutes. Now, these people was in their 60s, 70s, 80s. And I told them, yeah, probably half of them would die just from hearing the gunshots. I said, get heart attacks or whatever. But that was real creepy. And when I left with Louis Melito, I said, did you hear what this guy was thinking about and talking about? What, about killing the people? Yeah, I heard him. I said, bro, we got to pay attention to this guy. I think he lost his fucking mind. I think that's all he thinks about and talks about is killing people. So we got to pay attention to this guy, especially when we meet with him and stuff. We got to just be cautious with this guy. Well, going on a hit, somebody's asking me, how did I prepare for that? I didn't prepare for it. What I did is I focused in on what I was about to do, planning it, doing it, getting away, backup drivers, backup shooters. I put it together as professional as I could put it together. It was like I had blinders on. All I thought about was the person I was going to kill. I didn't think about my family, my friends, business, money, nothing. Nothing entered my mind but this guy and what I was about to do. I think that's what made me a professional. I think that's what made me good at it. So I got into a position when I was about to do the hit. I knew the guy couldn't get away. It was over. So that's how I prepared. I didn't prepare in advance or anything like that. The first one was a little more difficult. I never did one, so it was a little more complicated. It's a long story. I won't get into it. But once I became a professional hit guy, just preparing is where he was. I knew his whereabouts, where he went, where he stayed, what time he went home, what time he came out, everything like that. That's preparing for the hit. A question somebody just asked me, what does it mean to be made in the Mafia? Was a made member is someone who's accepted into the entire Mafia as one of them. It's a secret society and a brotherhood. There's associates, there's people who work in business, they could be your friend, family members. They're not in the Mafia. The Mafia, when you take that oath, you belong to them. It's a brotherhood. They're all brothers together. It could be 1,000. If you count all the families, it's probably even more. And you're part of that. It's extremely powerful. There's sets of rules that you have to live by or you'll die. So being in the Mafia was a big thing for anybody who was in the street, any tough guy, a gang. Being in the Mafia was like, they had the utmost respect and power. And it was a big event, for sure. Well, there were so many rules in the Mafia. You can't raise your hands to another friend of ours, meaning a made guy. You couldn't go with his wife, kids, daughter. You had to. It was a lot about respect and honor and how you conduct yourself in the Mafia. Even somebody like Roy DeMeo became a serial killer. Eventually, we killed him and got him out of the Mafia, because that's not us. You could never be a child molester or something like that. You would get killed. So there was a lot of rules, and again, it was about honor, respect for the organization, for all of your brothers. So there's tons of rules. You're not supposed to kill with a bomb, because innocent people could be hurt. Try your best not to have any innocent people hurt when you're on a hit or anything you're doing. Even when you get into a fight, you don't want to beat the guy to death. We don't want that kind of a name and reputation. You know, there was a lot of rules in the Mafia. Prison fight. I was in a few prison fights. One that stood out to me, I was locked up in a unit, and they wouldn't let me out of the cell. Everybody was out of the cell, but I was locked in the cell 24/7 for a while. And a black guy, he was half Spanish, half black. His name was Dave. And he said, he thought I was worried. I said, I'm not worried about coming out. I said, I can't come out. They won't allow it. But he says, when you come out, I'll save a spot at the table. And the day I came out, everybody was sitting down eating, and there was a spot next to him. He knew I was coming out that day. So I was walking over there. I got my tray with my food. It was a big, thick plastic tray, but heavy-duty tray. And I went to sit down. Some kid at the end, he was tattooed, his neck is all over the place. And he said, you can't sit at the table with us. So Dave went to get up, and I put my hand on his leg. I said, I got this. He's right. He's right. I got this. Don't worry about it. And I got up. I told the guys, you're right. And I was walking out the aisle. When I made my left turn, and he was like really close to me, he like, I don't know, he didn't want to look at me in the face because he put his head down, and I whacked him right in the face with the tray. I really busted him up bad, and he went down. He couldn't get up, and I was pounding him and kicking him, and guys grabbed me. They said, Sam, you're going to kill him. The guards came running in. They grabbed me. Boop, right back in the hole for me. And a while later, the guards came to me, a lieutenant, female, and she told me, I heard everything that happened. He's a troublemaker. We moved him. We're going to let you back in there, and we'll let you out. Are you okay? Or are you going to have problems? I said, listen, I'm not going to have problems with somebody unless they step to the plate. I'm not going to, I'm not going to back up, and I'm not going to let anybody hurt me. I'm not just going to lay down if somebody wants to do something. No, we understand that, but you're not looking for trouble. No, absolutely not. And I went back into that unit, and the first thing I did the first day out, they were all sitting down, and I said, does anybody have a problem of where I sit? Nobody said nothing, and I came in, and I never had a problem in that unit again. So that fight, I guess, stood out. I hurt him real bad, mostly with the tray, but he wasn't able to function. I was punching him and kicking him, and I did a lot of damage to this guy. I mean, somebody asked me about a funny moment back with me and my friends. There were so many of them, it's like hard to remember exactly what happened. Some guy came in one time and he was talking about, he owed money, and I had walked over. He was talking to a couple of guys in my crew, and he said, well, Sammy told me I didn't have to pay. And it caught my ear right away. So I said, Sammy who? And he said, Sammy the Bull. I spoke to him, and he's speaking to me. My friends just busted out laughing in his face, and he said, what's so funny? As I was walking away, I heard them saying, that's Sammy the Bull. So pay the money. So, but we got a kick out of it. You know, there was so many different things. There's probably hundreds of stories of times when we had laughs with people and things. So, but that's one of them. Yeah, I got a question from somebody who was asking me about my first fight. You know, when I was a kid, kids get into a lot of little fights. It was nothing serious. The first fight that stuck with me because it gave me my nickname. Some kids stole my bike. I told it a bunch of times, and when I found them with my bike, they didn't want to give it back. They were older than me, and I fought my ass off with these guys to get my bike back. I wasn't exactly winning the fight, but I was fighting. I wouldn't let go of the bike. A couple of guys, street guys, came over, and their decision was to give me back the bike. And one of the guys from across the street yelled, what's going on? He said, this is Jerry's son. What's your name, Sammy, right? Yeah. And he was fighting like a little bull. That name stuck with me, Sammy the Bull, from that point on. So it's a fight that I remember clearly just for that reason.